Today I bring you this step-by-step yin-yang crochet Graphghan pattern that I got on Pinterest. It's beginner friendly. If you know the single crochet, you'll be just fine. I'm using a 5mm hook with black and white yarn, but feel free to use any color of your choice and the hook size that is recommended. Just remember that the hook size you choose will determine the end result of your project. Remember to check out my other Graphghan tutorials that I'm going to link down below. So let's get started. The graph says we need 20 stitches for the start. All right, and to get these 20 stitches, we have to make a chain of 21. So you grab your hook. I'm using a 5mm hook like I mentioned before. You make a slip knot, and then you make 21 chains. So I have 21 chains. Now into the second stitch from hook, don't count that loop, you skip this stitch, and into the second one you're going to make a single crochet. Now you're going to single crochet all the way to the end, and in total you should have 20 single crochets. So I have single crochets all the way to the end. Now you have to make sure that you have 20 stitches. So I'm going to count. You can do that as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we have 20 stitches. That means we are done with row 1. And I like to tick it so I know I am done with it. So we are moving on to the second row. Sorry about that. Chain 1, turn your work. So the second row we are moving on to this direction. So into the very first stitch you go in with a single crochet, and then you single crochet all the way to the end. So your stitches are going to remain constant, 20 stitches. They're not going to increase or decrease. And the last stitch will definitely be tricky, so don't always forget to insert your hook and make that last stitch, otherwise you'll have less stitches. Now we're done with row number 2. Now we are moving on to row number 3, which is going to be this direction. So you're chaining 1 and turning your work. Into the first stitch, single crochet, and then single crochet into the rest of the stitches all the way to the end. Do that, I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I've come to the end of my row. I'll chain 1 and turn my work. So row 4, we start from this side going to that side. So it says we need to make 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. So if you count the boxes from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we are going to make 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches before we change colors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I forgot to mention, you don't finish off that 7th stitch. Bring your yarn forward. Now at this point you're going to introduce your second color, which is the black. So you're going to attach it and finish off that stitch. So now we are changing color, right? So we need to make 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you're gonna change colors. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So if you noticed, I worked over the tail, so you don't finish off that stitch. Bring the yarn forward, and now you're going to add another ball of yarn. Attach it and drop the black tail, so you're going to work over the white tail. Now you're going to make 1 single crochet into the rest of the stitches, in the remaining stitches. So that should be a total of 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. That's right. Chain 1 and turn your work. So make sure you turn your balls of yarn slowly so you don't get them tangled. So you should have something looking like this. Now we are moving on to the 5th row, which will start from this side, from right to left. So we're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 1 2 3 4 5 stitches before we change color. All right, so into the first stitch, single crochet. That's 1 2 3 4 and 5. Don't finish off the stitch, remember that. Bring your yarn forward and grab your black yarn. Since we're not going to use a lot of yarn balls, just grab this and pull it slightly. Don't overdo it, or else your work is going to look funny. So grab it lightly like this and finish off that stitch. Now secure this by pulling your white yarn a little bit in front. Now we're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So you'll work over that black yarn and make sure you carry this white yarn along, since we're not changing colors. So 1 and 2, right? So bring your yarn forward. You don't finish off the stitch, so you finish off with the white yarn. So next we're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So you'll carry the black yarn too, just like you did with the white yarn, and make 4 single crochets. 1 2 3 and 4. Don't finish it off. Finish off with the black yarn, and you're going to change color again. So now the next is you're going to make 1 2 3 4 single crochets in black. 1 2. Work over that white tail. 3 and 4. Don't finish it off. Bring your yarn forward, grab the white and finish the stitch. And that's how clean you can change your yarn. Now, how many stitches are left? There should be 5 stitches left. 1 2 3 4 5. That's right. So you finish off with single crochets all the way to the end. 2 3 4 and 5. Chain 1, turn your work, so you should have something looking like this, right? Now we are moving on to row number 6. So row number 6 will be working from the left going to the right, and it requires us to make 1 single crochet into the next 1 2 3 4 stitches before we can change color. So let's do that. 1 2 3 and 4. Bring it forward, and now we change to the black. Bring your blocks gently, don't over pull it. Finish off that stitch, and we make 3 stitches right here. 1 2 3 stitches. Carry that yarn along the white yarn. 1 2 and 3. Bring your yarn forward and finish off with the white yarn. And now we are going to make 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 single crochets. So carry your yarn along. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Bring the yarn forward and grab the black one again since you carried it, and then finish off that stitch. So we've made 7 stitches, single crochets in the white. We change to the black. Now you are going to single crochet, 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Bring your yarn forward and finish off with the white. So if you guys realized, we somehow dropped the white yarn. I'm just going to clip that off, and I'll get it back in when I need it. We are going to work 1 2 3 4 single crochets to the end. So 1 2 3 and 4. Right, so chain 1 and turn your work. So next row is row 7. So row 7, we are starting from the right going to the left. So we are going to make 1 2 3 single crochets before we change color. So 1 2 3. Bring your yarn forward, grab the black yarn and finish off. Like I said, remember not to pull it too tight if there's like 1 or 2 stitches that are in between. So now you'll make 2 single crochets before we change back to the white. Oh, we need to carry the white yarn too. So 1 and 2. Change back to the white. We're going to make 1, 2, 3 stitches before we change back to black. 1, 2, and 3. Change back to black. You make 2 stitches, 1 and 2, change back to white, finish off the stitch. So you're going to make 4 single crochets into the 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Bring your yarn forward, finish off with your black yarn. So next is 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Finish up with the white, and then single crochet into the rest of the stitches, and that marks the end of row 7. Chain 1 and turn. Now we're moving on to row 8. So row 8, we start from the left going to the right. We'll start by making 3 single crochets, change color, make 3, and then we change color again. So let's do that. One, 2, and 3. Bring your hand forward. Finish off the stitch and make 3 single crochets, 2 and 3. We've changed back to the white. Finish off the stitch. So we're going to make 4 single crochets in white before we change back to black. Two, 3, 4. Change back to black. Finish off the stitch, and then 2 single crochets, these 2, and then finish off with the white. Now you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. finish up, and then make 1 single crochet in black. Oh sorry, I don't have to finish since it's only 1 stitch. Single crochet, don't finish off, then finish off with the white yarn. So into the remaining stitches you go in with 3 single crochets, and that brings us to the end of the 8th row. Chain 1 and turn your work. So is it coming together now? I think it is. So we're moving on to row 9. Row 9 from right to left. So row 9 says we make 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. We change to our black color. And then make 1 single crochet, finish off with the white yarn, and then we make 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 single crochets before we can change color again. So go ahead and make the 11 single crochets. 10 and 11. Don't finish off. You have to finish it off with the black yarn, and then 4 single crochets. 1 2 3 and 4. Finish off, and then 2 single crochets, which will bring us to the end of this row. 1 and 2. Chain 1, turn your work. Moving on to the 10th row. 10th row, we start from the right going to the left. I'm going to link the graph in the description. You can download and print it out just like I did, so you can follow along. Alright, so the 10th row says we make 2 single crochets before we can change color. 1 and 2. Change to the black yarn, and then we make 1 2 3 4 5 single crochets. 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1 2 3 4 and 5. Finish it off with your other color. Next, we are just going to single crochet into the next 10 stitches. And change color. So you're going to make 1 single crochet and change back to white, and then complete the row by finishing off the remaining stitches. Chain 1 and turn. So we are moving on to row 11. So for row 11, 1 stitch in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Finish off with your black yarn, and then 1 single crochet, don't finish off, back to white, finish that stitch with the white yarn, and then 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then change back to black. And now we are going to make 1 single crochet into the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Finish off with the white yarn and then complete the row by finishing off the 2 remaining stitches, and that brings us to the end of the 11th row. You chain 1 and turn your work. So if you can see, the graph is coming to life. Okay, we're moving on to the 12th stitch. So the 12th stitch, we are going to make 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, finish off. So now you're going to make 1 single crochet into the next 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't finish off the 10th stitch. Complete the stitch with the white yarn. So next, I'm gonna make 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then finish off the stitch, then 1 single crochet, complete that row, complete that stitch, and then complete the 12th row by finishing off the 2 stitches left. Chain 1 and turn. Moving on to the 13th row. So for the 13th row, as you can see, you make 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then you change color, you make 1 single crochet, change color, make 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. So we're going to do that. 1, 2, change color, 1 single crochet, change color, and then we are gonna make 4 single crochets, 1 2 3 and 4. Finish off, and then we make 1 single crochet in the next 11 stitches. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. And then you finish off, and then make the last 2 single crochets, chain 1 and turn. So now we are moving on to the 14th row. So for the 14th row, you make 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2, change color, and then single crochet into the next 12 stitches, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. Finish off that stitch, then 3 single crochets, 1 2 and 3. Finish off the stitch, and then one single crochet, finish off, and then complete the row by finishing off the 2 stitches, and that marks the end of the 14th row. Chain 1 and turn your work. So for the 15th row, we are going from the right to the left. So 15th row, we make 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1 2 and 3. Walk over the tail before you grab it, 3. Finish off with the black yarn, and then we make 1 single crochet, as you can see here. 1 single crochet, you don't finish it, complete it with a white, one single crochet in the next 2 stitches, so if you can see here, we're not going to continue like we did. We have to change color in the middle right here. So we made 2. Now we're going to make 1 2 3 4 single crochets, 1 2 3 and 4. Change to the white yarn, we make 2 single crochets, 2, change again, and make 1 2 3 4 5 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Finish off, and then you're going to drop the black yarn and complete this row by making 3 single crochets, 2 and 3, chain 1 and turn. So row 16 starts from the left going to the right. So basically row 16 we are making a repeat of row 15. So do that. I'll meet you when we are getting on to the 17th row. So I'm wrapping up with row 16. I'll chain 1 and turn my work, and we move on to row 17. So row 17 starts from the right to the left. So we begin by making 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. Make sure you work over that black yarn. 4. Bring the yarn forward, finish it off, and now make 1 single crochet in the next 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Finish off, and then we finish off by making 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. Right, chain 1 and turn your work. So at this point you should have something looking like this. Your graph is literally coming to life. So we're moving on to the 18th row. So 18th row starts from the left to the right. So we begin by making 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you work over the tail, and 5, finish off, and then work 1 single crochet in the next 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Don't finish that off, finish it with the white yarn. So to wrap this row up, you will just make 1 single crochet into the rest of the stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1, turn your work. Now we move on to the 19th row. So the 19th row, we come from the right to the left. So for your 19th row, 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Walk over the tail. 6. Sorry, you have to carry the yarn. 6, and then 7. Bring your yarn forward, finish it off, finish that stitch off. So next you're making 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Finish off with the white yarn, and then 7 single crochets. That is wrapping up this row. Chain 1 and turn your work. So we move on to the last row, which is row 20. So for row 20, you're just basically going to use the white yarn to make your single crochets all the way to the end. So for now, I'm going to put this aside. So just make 1 single crochet into each and every stitch all the way to the end. So as you're doing that, please make sure you carry the black yarn along so it is very well secure if you carry the yarn like me. So you can drop it, you don't have to carry it to the end. So just make sure that it is very well secure before you cut your yarn. And that brings us to the end of row 20, and then chain 1 just to secure. Clip off the yarn, pull the yarn through, and trust me, you'll be done. So at the end of everything, you should have a clean work like this. So let me know in the comment section if this was helpful. Subscribe, like, share, and I'll see you again in the next video.